Fire them up. That's what we do at the Andrew Gosser Show. We fire them up right here on 1039 WYAB, where by the grace of God, we are streaming on Rumble. We are streaming on X. We are streaming on YouTube. Heck, it's a Monday. We're even streaming on Facebook and, of course, at the mothership that is WYAB.com. So if you can't pick up the 50,000 watt blowtorch of a signal that is 1039 WYAB, help us grow this station. Help us grow the channel. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a Democrat, for crying out loud. Yep. And if you want to be part of the show today, the number is 601-879-0002. Text line is open at 601-879-5060. And no matter what's going on 1039 WYB, it could be have a thunderstorm outside, it could be a tornado. The mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show is standard. We are here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? You all are the saints. But blessed are your eyes, for they can see. And blessed are your ears, for they can hear. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to talk about everything that's happening outside of Mississippi, because in the end, guess what? It ends up coming back to happen right here inside Mississippi. And I had one of the most incredible weekends. I hope you all had a wonderful and blessed weekend. Got to see the Sweet Bee, hang out with the Sweet Toots. Got to talk to some friends, get called the usual pejoratives and names that are out there that conservatives get called. It's a badge of honor for me. It truly is. And I sit there and I think about the things that I say and that I can back up with facts and documentation. And I think about how sometimes being on the cutting edge of societal evolution, you're going to take a lot of hot garbage for it. A lot of things that you don't deserve. Is that something like you do? Are you somebody at work who sees the problem before it actually manifests, and you try to tell your boss and they just look at you and blow you off? And you're sitting there going, man, I knew this. If they only would have listened to me. I had a good friend of mine named Eric Krause. He was brilliant, strategic thinking mind, could really see things out in front. But he didn't know his station, and he would get upset when he would see a problem, tell his boss about it, and it wouldn't get fixed. He ended up getting fired. And then it just went downhill from there, man. Same situation here. How many times have we heard about the problems in Minnesota? The Sharia law, the Somalis. How many times have we heard about the crazy riots that are going out in California? How San Francisco is basically turned into a walking cesspool, a sewer above ground. They've talked about how we're proud of the fact that we have voter ID here in Mississippi, and how in other states they don't have voter ID. But in other states, well, you can't get an ID to vote. You can get a commercial driver's license. And we've heard about tragic stories, haven't we? We've heard about tragic stories in Florida, in Texas, in California, in Illinois, in Wisconsin, of people who are in this country illegally, and they end up getting in an accident and killing somebody. This is coming from Dark Horse Press, specifically Teresa Apel, August 20th. So this was last week. Meant to get to it Friday. Just Friday's show turned into an absolute banger. And I didn't have a chance to get into it as deeply as I wanted to, so I just left it. And it's for good reason. This is basically 1.5 paragraphs. Hinds County. A Terry man was killed Thursday afternoon after he was struck by an 18-wheeler on Interstate 20 West in Hinds County, according to the Mississippi Highway Patrol. The crash happened at approximately 1:46 p.m. near the mile 29 marker. Troopers said Dedrick Garrett, 36 of Terry, had exited his 2016 Honda CRV when he was struck by a westbound 2021 Freightliner driven by Subay Singh, 26 of Fresno, California. Nothing to see there. We accidents all the time. Now, Terry's a small town. And I'm not saying I know everybody in Terry. I'm not saying I know 5% of the people in Terry. But Terry's a small enough town to where you know somebody who knows somebody who knows what happened. And so this got me thinking. Now, when I got this story on Friday, I did try to call the Mississippi State Highway Patrol. And shout out to the highway patrolmen who were at Martin's downtown getting a great bite to eat while I was there. We'll talk more about that later. But I could not find the answer I was looking for. So, of course, I put the article from Dark Horse Press into Grok, and I simply asked, was the driver a legal alien? And it took Grok approximately 8 seconds to come out and find out that nope, another illegal alien from California killed another U.S. citizen, this time from Terry, Mississippi. When are we going to wake up and realize that we are being attacked in fourth and fifth generational ways, that generals and admirals are not necessarily have trained the armies and naval forces equipped to fight this battle? I'm sitting here and here's what it says. DHS stated that the Border Patrol encountered Singh on November 19th, 2017. He was released from ICE custody and bond on May 10th, 2018, and enrolled in an alternative to detention program with the GPS monitor. Why isn't WLBT talking about this? I asked the question, did any of our local news sources talk about this? WLBT, nope, 2021. So let's just click the WLBT article right here. Hopefully it doesn't play the music. No, that's good. Tiny little bit of information here. Hinds County, Mississippi, WLBT. Mississippi Highway Patrol is investigating after a deadly crash on Interstate 20 in Hinds County Thursday afternoon. At approximately 1:46 p.m., MHP responded to reports of a crash involving an 18-wheeler and a pedestrian on I-20 West near the mile 29 marker. So basically, WLBT is just cutting and pasting what Dark Horse Press did. According to MHP officials, the 26-year-old Singh of Fresno, California, was driving westbound on a 2021 Freightliner when 36-year-old Dietrich Garrett of Terry, Mississippi, exited his 2016 Honda CR-V and was struck by the Freightliner. Notice it wasn't talking about the driver of the Freightliner, it was just the Freightliner. Garrett sustained fatal injuries in the crash and was pronounced deceased at the scene. Singh did not receive any injuries in the crash. This is an active and ongoing investigation. No further information has been released. Meanwhile, you've got to go to other websites to find out that this guy was illegal, an illegal alien. InsiderWire.com. It's behind a paywall, so I'm not going to go into all of it. But if you go in behind there, if you find out that this guy's an illegal alien, and we have people who are upset about ICE. We have people who are more upset about things that get us angry and make us feel. It gets our emotions all fired up, but it doesn't have any of the real conflicts and impacts of real life. What are we doing here? We will get upset over a woman killing 3 of her children and then having hundreds of thousands of women protest. We'll get mad over that. We'll get mad over high-profile deaths. Dare I say, some are deaths, some are suicides, some are murders. But we'll get all fired up over that. But the real enemy, what's truly killing us, we don't get fired up for. It's okay to be an illegal alien in the United States of America and driving an 18-wheeler. When I was getting out of the military back in the day, that was one of the jobs that they pushed a lot of vets towards. Especially if you didn't like being around crowds, if you just wanted to be in quiet and by yourself, driving a rig. It's good money. But now that whole industry is infested with a bunch of illegal commercial or a bunch of illegal aliens driving commercially and taking away good paying jobs from law-abiding Americans, where it's getting harder and harder to buy a house, where it's getting harder and harder to buy a home. Heck, it's getting harder and harder to get a real decent education anymore. You don't even know what your teacher's teaching in the classroom. Get in trouble for being too snooping around about that. This infuriates me. And this is why I feel that our local party is missing out. I'm bringing Mississippi together instead of just staying quiet and laying low. Speaking of staying quiet and laying low, I had the most wonderful lunch on Friday with my friend Philip and my friend Jeff. And when we get back from this commercial break, I'm going to tell you all about it because you're never going to believe who we ran into. I couldn't make it up if I tried, ladies and gentlemen. I couldn't make it up if I tried. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
WYAB.
Fly into savings at a complete flag source in Jackson. Right now, we are running a massive inventory showroom sale. Transform your outdoor spaces with deep discounts on our huge selection of yard and garden banners, seasonal flags, and decorative hardware. But that's not all. Our showroom is packed with deals on many other items. These deals won't last long. Stop by our Jackson showroom today and upgrade your view for less. That's a complete flag source on I-55 North, Jackson.
Antique Mall of the South has 14,000 square feet of pristine, clean floor space. Home to beautiful, timeless antique treasures. Antique Mall of the South is open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. Check them out online at antiquemallofthesouth.com or go to the Antique Mall of the South Facebook page. You can also read the dozens of 5-star reviews online. Come see for yourself at Antique Mall of the South in Ridgeland. Now open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. That's Antique Mall of the South, Highway 51 in Ridgeland.
Parents, do your kids need a new pair of eyeglasses for school? Eye Gear Optical has partnered with Look Eyewear to bring you a sweet deal on back-to-school glasses. $99.
It was a good weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Good weekend.
Polycarbonate lenses with a scratch-resistant coating and UV protection are all included in this offer. We want to custom fit your kids in a pair of glasses and keep it friendly to your budget. Eye Gear Optical, 2630 Highway 80 East in Pearl, and on the web at eyegearoptical.com.
Tired of the brutal Mississippi sun beating down on your ride or home? Lakeland Glass and Tint in Flowood has you covered. They specialize in professional window tint for cars, homes, and businesses using premium Expel film, plus top-tier paint protection film, ceramic coatings, and full vehicle wraps. Change your truck's color or turn it into a rolling billboard without an expensive paint job. Get a free quote today at LakelandGlassandTint.com. That's LakelandGlassandTint.com. Lakeland Glass and Tint, Central Mississippi's tint and wrap pros.
Advance your career with a master's in communication from Mississippi Christian University. Master's degrees in strategic, sports, and public affairs communication are designed for professionals ready to take their next steps of success. All classes are fully online and can be completed in just 1 year. Discover more at communication.mc.edu. Mississippi Christian University, celebrating 200 years of scholarship and faith.
At Flora Animal Hospital, our team doesn't just take care of your pet's needs. We feel like it starts with the pet parents. If the pet parent is informed thoroughly and understands the situation with the animal and why certain things need to be done or certain medications need to be given, it's easier to get that done. Our website is floraanimalhospital.com. It'll take you straight to the online store where your medicine can be purchased, food can be purchased, prescription or non-prescription, and they will be shipped straight to your front door. floraanimalhospital.com.
Upgrade your yard this season with Hometown Hardware and Grasshopper. Hometown Hardware in Flora is now a proud Grasshopper mower dealer. Own a Grasshopper, own Mow Day. Hometown Hardware also has a great selection of outdoor power equipment from trusted names like Steel and Milwaukee, as well as Hustler. And don't forget, Hometown Hardware is your garden soil, potting mix, fertilizer, and pine straw headquarters. Hometown Hardware on Highway 49 in Flora.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. I was just putting on X those two links to those articles on that illegal alien who killed a Mississippi man from Terry. And, of course, local reporters don't get the full story. And I'm not calling out Dark Horse Press, by the way. Dark Horse Press, Magnolia Tribune, Jackson Jambalaya. I didn't even check them today yet. Absolutely love them. I expect Clarion Ledger, WALVT, WAPT, our bigger news sources to end up getting it right. And it's one thing to a car crash kills someone and that's the end of it. But when it's an illegal alien, you would think there would be a little bit more talk about it, but it's not. They just want you to get used to it. It's over and over again. It's like the storm blowing through right now. It's nasty for a minute, but as soon as the front rolls through and the thunder and lightning go by, it's all good to go. I'm not one of these guys who sits there and says, and when we get back from the break, I'm going to tell you about my lunch and then not tell you about my lunch. I was having a lunch with my friend Philip and Jeff, both really smart guys, gifted when it comes to websites and communications, video, audio. And we were talking about Sharia law and just things we can do to try to help to push the Mississippi legislature into actually getting something passed. I know that there's those out there who say that we don't need to pass anything, that the 2015 law is good enough. But as we're seeing more and more, especially in Texas, Michigan, Minnesota, Washington State, it's not. We need more. So before I talk about last Friday's lunch, let me rewind it about 8 months earlier when at the same restaurant, Philip and Jeff and I were eating lunch. And who did we run into? None other than the great senator from the state of Mississippi, Cindy Hyde-Smith. She sat right next to us. Made eye contact with her, just waved. She was with her daughter. They were having a family lunch. You know, me being a recovering politician, you know, there's times where I realize if someone comes up and wants to say hi to me, I'm going to say hi to them. I'm not going to be rude. But if you're a politician and you know you're going to run into somebody later, and if it's not really important, you just give the eye wink. Yeah, yep, good seeing you again. Great. Run it forward 8 months. Last Friday, same restaurant. I get there about 10 minutes late, and Philip and Jeff already got the seat right in the front, really nice seat. And I'll be dipped and stirred if it's not Cindy Hyde-Smith right there. And the food comes, and I say, guys, let's bless the food real quick. And I pray, and I pray for Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith in this prayer where I'm blessing the food. Now, Pastor Franco always says, and he told me this, dead to my face, Andy, no one wants to hear a sermon when you're blessing the food. We need to bless the food with meaning and spirit, and then let's get to eating. But I threw this little bit on the end saying, and God bless Cindy Hyde-Smith. And when she heard that, I wasn't going to go up and do it again because I thought she was with her family. She was actually meeting with some constituents. But she came up to our table, and we got to meet with her, and we all talked about things that were going on in the Senate. It was good, and I point blank asked her. I was like, Cindy, and I do believe I called her. I said Miss Cindy. I didn't say Cindy. I wasn't rude. Philip, check me on that. I wasn't rude. But I was like, Miss Cindy, can you just go on Fox News? Can you go on X and say that you support passing the Save America Act right now? Well, I co-sponsored it. I'm like, we don't need that. We need you to just put something out there in public saying you support it. And she said she would. So I'm going to hold her to it. Now, I'm looking at her X account right now. Let me hit the refresh button. Let's see if the computer crashes. It already did once today, ladies and gentlemen, during the break. I'm not supposed to believe in conspiracies and stuff like this, but it just is what it is. I'm not seeing anything with her economic development, all sorts of other politicians. Yep, looking good. Big time benefits. Yep, there's her Sunday post scripture post. I always say I heart it, and I do. But she didn't post anything on the Save America Act, so I'll call her again. But, it is one of the things where I could have sat there and I talked about it with my friends. I said, we could have sat there and gone full West Ham United on her and called her out. Or you can ask. I'm curious what you would do if you saw Cindy Hyde-Smith there. Would you have asked about the Save America Act? Would you have asked about something else? Would you have said, I didn't have nothing good to say, so I just kept my mouth shut? That's a fair answer, too. Because there's a lot of times that I get behind this microphone and I have stuff that I want to say, and I'm like, there's no good that can come from this, me opening up my yapper and calling somebody out. So the lunch was great. If you haven't gone to No Sharia, y'all, we've got a video out there that talks about Sharia law, and more people are getting involved in it. And it really makes me happy to see, because this is just bigger than just me. And in no way, shape, matter, form, nature, or relationship does Andrew Gosser need to be the main character, let alone even audition to be the main character of the story. It might be somebody listening to this radio show right now. It might be somebody who's listening to this radio show right now and they have a son or a daughter. And it's not too early to start thinking about elections in November. We're going to need election judges in Hinds County, Madison County, Rankin County, Yazoo County, Warren County, Copiah County, Simpson County. Start thinking about it, especially you seniors in high school. It's like $225 for the day. And you'll learn more about voting and the importance of voting. And I do believe that the school board gives you the day off if you can prove that you're an election judge. Free Tuesday off, ladies and gentlemen. So we talked about the upcoming session in the Mississippi State House and the Mississippi State Senate. I'm learning more about it the older I get. I have friends who are really well versed in it. We got to get Mary Jo Perry on the show here to talk MPVR and talk about what they're going to be supporting. They always seem to get one piece of legislation through. I don't know how they do it. They work it hard. But that's what Jeff and I were talking about. Jeff and Philip and I were talking about at lunch when Cindy Hyde-Smith rolled up on us. It was cool to see. And I'm just sitting here wondering what y'all thought about it. If you had a chance to meet Roger Wicker, Senator Smith, Congressman Guest, Congressman Easel, Congressman Benny Thompson, Trent Kelly up in the northern Mississippi, would you take your moment to try to ask for something and be sweet? Or would you roll in like the Guns of Navarone? Good morning, Vietnam, and just blow the whole thing up? I don't know. I've done both tries, and both of them have been successful and both of them have been unsuccessful. But after lunch, I then went down to Martin's downtown because the Premier League is opening up. And I am going to talk about a little bit of sports because so many of you tell me about how proud of you are of your Tigers, how proud of you are of your Rebels. And I am proud of my Dogs, but I'm more proud of the Gunners. I think my team suits me. Cannons, firearms, weapons, guns, blasts. That's my kind of way to roll. And anyways, I heard Clay talking about how good their food is at Martin's downtown, and I was just happened to be downtown. So I rolled up into Martin's downtown to watch the Arsenal game. Ran into a great group of guys, some of Mississippi's finest highway patrol, having a good lunch. And you know what? Those guys don't get enough credit for the stuff they go through. They don't. And I always try to be grateful and have a gracious attitude towards people, even if I don't understand their whole story or get the whole thing. I'm always trying to have that positive influence. But ran into those guys. And I sat at the bar, had a little something, and for an hour and 60 minutes, or an hour and 50 minutes, excuse me, that would be 2 hours, hour and 60 minutes. But an hour and 50 minutes, I just kind of unplugged a little bit and got to hoot and holler and watched a bunch of people who never watched soccer before in their lives watch my Arsenal take on Coventry City, ladies and gentlemen. And we won 3-0. And I met a bunch of great people. My bartender, Miss Marie, was great. Devontae, who brought me my peach cobbler, delicious. And it was just a really great way to spend a Friday before the craziness of the weekend kicked off. And so in the course of 3 hours, I went from hosting the radio show, having lunch with dear friends, running into Cindy Hyde-Smith, running into some of Mississippi's finest, Mississippi Highway Patrol, going to a great sponsor there at WYAB, which is Martin's Downtown, having a peach cobbler, a little something, and watching the world-famous Arsenal whoop up in the Premier League. I like it. That's a good Friday for me. I don't know what it is about for you, but I'm excited. We still have lots to get into this show as the storm blows through here in Flora, Mississippi. We've got to talk about Darth Vader rolling up into the city council meeting. We're going to definitely get to that. We'll talk about some more other local news and just other odds and ends that happened. It was a really chill weekend for me. I hope it was for you. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
Keep it tuned here to 103.9 WYAB.
Fox News commentary with Charlie Hurt. Next.
Most investments today feel like second jobs. Real estate, you're a landlord. Stocks, you're a day trader. Crypto, you're a full-time researcher. You've got a life to live. Your investment should help you live it. That's why more Americans are choosing gold. Noble Gold has helped thousands protect their future with real physical gold. Visit noblegoldinvestments.com to get your free wealth protection kit. That's noblegoldinvestments.com. Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
If you believe you have a case, contact us. Go to our website.
The Democrat Party is being taken over by these crazy leftists is because the Democrat Party has completely left the working people, the working class. Part of that is because they've become like this college-educated, weird group of elites. But the other part is because Donald Trump, thanks to the Tea Party, and then Donald Trump himself, has come in and completely stolen all of those voters from the Democrat Party, and they're left with the dregs of it. And I don't think it's a winner for them. If you talk to regular working class people, and I hate in America talking about classes because we're not a class society, but if you want to talk about working people in this country, they care about having borders. They care about having police departments. They care about law and order. This stuff doesn't appeal to any of them.
For more commentary like this, go to foxnewspodcasts.com.
This Nissan was taken to a shop preferred by the insurance company. This repair took several weeks and cost over $20,000. This car came to Clinton Body Shop for a post-repair inspection. We found dangerous, substandard repairs and parts that were paid for but not installed. The insurance company bought this car from the owner. Have you used an insurance preferred body shop? If you have, call Eva Clinton Body Shop for a post-repair inspection. In Clinton and in Richland, we work for you. We take pride in perfection.
Hi. Chicago staying in it. Natasha Clapp. And right before the break, this was the scene inside Wintrust Arena after Natasha Cloud got that bucket. She wanted
on Mondays, beef tip Tuesday, pork chop Wednesday, spaghetti Thursday.
her voice heard. We have talked about the conversation.
Cornbread or a roll. McBee's specials are served every weekday from 11 to 2. McBee's, buzzing the res since 1982.
Who said you can have too much of a good thing? Not at Mazzo Jackson. With rates as low as 0% with approved credit. Come test drive the all-new, fully redesigned 2026 Mazda CX-5. That's more room for you and your cargo, making the third-generation CX-5 the best yet. Mazda's best-selling SUV also comes with 1-year maintenance included on your new vehicle purchase. Mazda Jackson still specializes in certified pre-owned vehicles with hassle-free trade-in options available. Shop online at MazdaJackson.com or visit Mazda Jackson, I-55 Frontage Road.
Since 2012, Brentech Solutions has been keeping Central Mississippi businesses connected and protected. From secure data backup and cloud services with Synology to reliable network design and maintenance, servers, and business Wi-Fi, Brentech truly does it all. Brentech is your Ring Pro partner and smart home automation solutions provider. Brentech can handle Microsoft 365 support and even Starlink. Visit brentech.ms. That's brentech.ms. IT solutions that work.
There is nothing like the first Saturday in Stark Vegas. Be there when Mississippi State kicks off another exciting football season at Davis Wade Stadium. From tailgates in the Junction to the sound of thousands of cowbells, experience the tradition, energy, and excitement that make game days in Starkville so special. Don't miss your chance to be a part of the first home game atmosphere. Secure your first Saturday 4-pack today at hailstate.com/tickets.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. You know, I guess the next place we've got to go is the women's NBA. Because I'm sorry, but women be crazy. And I'm not trying to get calls or clicks or anything like that. I'm just saying there are people out there who are just bat-spit crazy. And for a grown man to declare himself eligible for the WNBA and not being able to go over at a moment's notice and just say, this is stupid, this is nonsense, this is folly, this is foolish. And actually have grown women say, well, I don't know about this. If I like you, then you can be a woman. If I don't like you, then you don't be a woman. If you feel like it today, but not tomorrow. Now, I understand the English Premier League and I understand world football, soccer. My NFL knowledge is stale. My Major League Baseball knowledge is stale. National Hockey League, stale. Major League Baseball, stale. NBA, stale. Michael Jordan, still the GOAT. Deal with it. In WNBA, I know Sophie Cunningham and Caitlin Clark in that order, which is probably not the right order, but that's just how it came to my knowledge. And this Enes Kanter guy, we've had him, we've played some of his clips before on the radio, on the show. And he decides that he's going to show up to a WNBA game. And I don't know who this Natasha Cloud is. I couldn't tell you what team she plays on. She goes into a big girl, little girl meltdown. And listen to what the commentators say.
Chicago staying in it. Natasha Clapp. And right before the break, this was the scene inside Wintrust Arena after Natasha Cloud got that bucket. She wanted her voice heard. We have talked about the conversations surrounding the W. That is Enes Kanter in the building today. And he has voiced how he's felt about the situation. Natasha Cloud
You know, that lady is so discombobulated, she can't even make a full sentence about what happened. Enos Kanter showed up to say that, look, he's coming to the WNBA. He's declaring for a draft. He's feeling his womanhood when it comes to the WNBA. And this Natasha Cloud, she might be a great player. She might not be. Never heard of her before. She wasn't on my radar scope. But she got completely unhinged and got poor Enos kicked out of the WNBA arena. And I do have to say that one girl who tried to decapitate Sophie Cunningham, I did see her briefly on the screen of the audio I just played. I could tell by the long blonde weave that it was completely unnatural. But she was on that team. And it just seems the more we try to go towards common sense, clearly Enos is a man. He's a grown man. He could whoop up on all 5 of those chicks 5-on-1. He could just go to the hoop and dunk over them all. But the fact that the devil is so strong in today's society that we could actually have to have conversations about if it's okay for a man to be at the side of a court, minding his own business. Don't try to wear some of those XXXY shirts, I support women sports shirts to a WNBA game. You will not be allowed into the building. You're having your freedom of speech violated. Andy, you're paying a ticket to go to their private event. Yeah, they're pushing the homosexual agenda right down your daughter's throat, and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, the WNBA is getting more and more popular. It's not because the product is good. The game is absolutely hot garbage unless there's like 3 players, one other player besides Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham who can actually ball. But the rest of the league is absolute crack. But because of all the drama, because of all the nonsense, because of all the hysteria, people are following it. I still like the Nashville Balls team myself. That's going to be a great team. Can't wait for that expansion team to get filled in there. Maybe Enos Kanter can get on that one as well. It'll be a great team to watch. Oh, and the WNBA was like, just in case you know that we don't support Sophie Cunningham, we don't support women being women and playing in women's sports. We want the men there. We want the transes there. We want all the freaks and crazies in there. It doesn't matter. You're all welcome in the WNBA. They came out with 2 new mascots, including a non-binary turtle with the pronouns she, them. And you should Google this, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what, this looks right out of the Teenage Mutant Ninja comic books from the 1990s with just a 2026 pastel coloring overlay. They did not have any time to actually design something good. And they're parading this turtle around like it's bigger than the stars who are playing the game of football or game of basketball. It's truly shameful what's happening to the great country of the United States of America. We're taking all of our riches, all of our hard work, the things that we've built, the industries that we've built, the stadiums that we've built, the economy that we built, and we've ran it straight into the ground over a bunch of debauchery. I got this story somewhere in the stack of stuff. Baby Boomer is getting stoned, and the Zoomer neighbors aren't liking it. We have completely lost track of where we're heading as a country, and the things that should be important, things like food, things like culture, things like education and hard work and God, are all second fiddle to now. Well, how does that make me feel? Someone checking in. Good morning, Dogfish. Good to see you. How does it make me feel? Does it make me feel good that there's a non-binary turtle in the WNBA with the pronouns she, them, Does that make me feel good? Does that make America great today? And I haven't even begun to get talking about some of these people whose parents who are parents who have kids on the USS Abraham Lincoln. Jameson's Travel on YouTube has a YouTube channel, one of the most followed veteran communities in all of the United States of America, all of YouTube, all of social media. Definitely worth the listen. And I try to keep track. I try not to consume more than about 2 hours of different videos every day, and then I do spiritual reading, stuff on sheep, follow Arsenal, kinda unplug after that, read, paper book. But there was this parent of this USS Abraham Lincoln sailor who said her daughter, when she joined the US Navy, wasn't supposed to be going on a ship. You can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen. You can't make this up. And you know what? Actually, it just all hit me. We are more concerned about what's in our social media feeds than we are what's around us. You are more worried about your TikTok account and the likes, views, and follows that you get than the weather outside. You're more worried about your Facebook account than whether or not you have gainful employment next week. And I'm not obviously not talking to the exact people in this listening audience. I'll be out there working hard. Shout out to the blue collar crew. I'm not sure if you like working in thunderstorms or not, but it's certainly cooler. But our value system, what we hold important, what we hold dear, it's all being flushed down the toilet. It's all being flushed down the toilet. And for me as a military man, it hurts me. I remember watching some World War II vets from 2016 saying this wasn't the country that they fought for. And I have to say, I'm kind of stunned. And I just retired in 2011, and the country doesn't look anything like it did in 2011. It's only changing more rapid as we go forward. The speed of change is going quicker and quicker. They say technology doubles every 18 months. I think it's going to double quicker than that. It's going to double quicker than my computer shutting down because it doesn't like what I'm talking about. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back.
a game and just hang out. Capitol Grill of Jackson. Of course they've got the games, but food, oh my goodness. Mouth-watering po' boys, fish, steaks, appetizers, and a specialty pizza menu. Kitchen opens at 5 Monday through Thursday and 11 Friday through Sunday. And happy hours are daily at Capitol Grill. Also enjoy the all-new Tuesday night and karaoke on Wednesday and Friday nights from 8 till midnight with DJ Money Mon. Capitol Grill, DeVille Plaza in Jackson.
Antique Mall of the South has 14,000 square feet of pristine, clean floor space. Home to beautiful, timeless antique treasures. Antique Mall of the South is open Monday to Saturday, 10 to 5. Check them out online at antiquemallofthesouth.com or go to the Antique Mall of the South Facebook page. You can also read the dozens of 5-star reviews online. Come see for yourself at Antique Mall of the South in Ridgeland. Now open
I'll tell you what,
Monday to
Dogfish,
Saturday,
I
10
I
to
forgot
5.
my
That's Antique
reading
Mall of the South,
glasses,
Highway 51
and so I'm
in
using the regular ones, and man, do I miss them.
energy after work?
Those other
When your
glasses,
mind was
man,
sharp,
they are
your
the bomb,
confidence
diggity
was
bomb,
high,
shoo wop
and
doo
getting
wop.
older didn't feel like giving up? That guy's still in there. Live Better Men's Health and Wellness helps men fight fatigue, low testosterone, brain fog, and low motivation with customized treatment plans built for real life. No waiting forever, no awkward
Do you all hear that
lectures,
thunder that just rolled
answers,
through?
support, and a plan.
You could see the
Living
microphone
Better
kind of,
starts
the
now.
equalizer
Live
kind of
Better Men's
bump
Health.
off on it a
Visit
little bit.
livebettermen.com today.
Running a business in Mississippi is challenging enough without worrying about payroll and HR compliance. At People Leased, we're local, and we understand Mississippi's tax laws, labor requirements, and your day-to-day challenges. Get friendly, expert support for payroll, HR, time and attendance, employee benefits, and compliance, all from a team right here in Mississippi. People Lease, local support, real solutions. Visit peoplelease.com today.
Greetings. I'm Dr. Benny Tate, president of the Congregational Methodist Church denomination in Florence, Mississippi, and the pastor of Rock Springs Church in Milner, Georgia, inviting you to attend one of our services this week. Find a church near you at cm-church.org and be sure and listen for our weekly program, Apples of Gold from Rock Springs Church, here on 103.9 WYAB.
Sundays, 7:30 and 10.
Oh, that was a great song, man. I could have done the whole FIFA 13 Arsenal intro, decided against it because you are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. And we've got so much more to get to in this Monday. I know Lindsey Beckham has really talked about the whole trial about the mother who strangled her 3 kids and now is trying to plead insanity. And I find it absolutely horrifying, horrific. This is like HBO horror show back in 1984, back in the day, where, again, we are completely detached from reality. And we have lots of grown women who are supporting this woman for killing her 3 kids and saying it's her fault. And if she does get away with it, is there anything truly wrong in the world anymore? You're saying now if you have a condition, it's okay to murder. You're saying if you're having a bad day and you decide to slap the crap out of your kid, it's okay. We are going from a high trust society, righteous society, a moral society given to us by God, to a digital society ran by ones and zeros. And depending on how the algorithm feels today, depends on how well you're going to do today. It scares the heck out of me. I've got this take from this one woman here. It's 3 minutes long. We're going to save that for the next hour. Darth Vader has invaded the local council, ladies and gentlemen. And as someone who was a county supervisor, county board member, every once in a while you get one of these goofy people who show up in costume to give a speech, and you're just like, oh, Lord. And we're all sitting there. I mean, even my friends, and you have to say that, my friends on the other side of the aisle, we know this was crazy. Tina Hill would be just sitting there laughing. saying, "Oh, here we go again. It's about the river. It's about the bees. It's about whatever." But Darth Vader has shown up to a city council meeting and actually makes sense. He actually makes sense. And that's what's frightening to me too, is when people can use comedy and satire and make more sense than some of our politicians. Well, that really is saying something. Also got a quick speaking of people going up in front of city councils, we've got a pastor going up in front of a city council in Dearborn, Michigan. And I am going to play that. And this is I haven't talked to Pastor PD in a while, but I want to know where the pastors in Jackson are. Or are they just titles that we give to people? Pastor, reverend, deacon, elder, deaconess. Do we just give those titles away willy-nilly now? But that's what I want to talk in the next hour. Of course, we'll talk about whatever else comes across the news wire, but that's what I have planned. Last story I've got planned is another Sharia law incident out of Dearborn, Michigan that I feel requires. Oh, the other thing that I do have to talk about is something hopeful, ladies and gentlemen. This got sent to me by a dear friend of mine. I'll just say that he is a he again and has gone through a lot of change and was a little bit critical about some of the stuff that I had said in the past about trans people. And how I've said, look, we've got to love on them because they're going to wake up in a year or two and they're going to need a lot of help. Well, it's starting to happen. And you better be ready for this stuff. Dogfish saying it's dark enough outside. I turned on my shop sign and it looks bright. I know, man. It's so dark here in Florida right now. Storms are moving through. It's good. We need the rain. The sheep will need the rain. Chickens will need the rain. I don't think Phoebe will enjoy it too much, but she'll be all right. Don't go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen. You are tuned into the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back. About 7.5 minutes.
This is Central Mississippi's Stimulating Talk.
1039 WYAB, Pocahontas, Jackson.
From ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. More tariff troubles between the U.S. and Canada. Canada says it will implement its own tariffs on U.S. goods after the Trump administration's 50% hike on some Canadian goods went into effect Saturday. President Trump, in his latest social media post, says the U.S. will now double tariffs in January if a trade deal is not met. That includes on auto parts. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze says consumers will likely end up bearing the costs.
The list ranges from Canadian alcohol to building materials. You've got dog leashes in this list, hockey sticks. It is a pretty carved out list of products that will be affected here. And we're talking about $20 billion of goods that come from Canada into the U.S.
The Trump administration vowing another round of sanctions against Iran and countries doing business with Iran. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent calling today economic D-Day. Iran has responded and says more bottlenecks in the already hamstrung Strait of Hormuz will happen. More from ABC's James Longman.
Iran says that not a single drop of oil will be exported through the Strait of Hormuz as a response to this. We are possibly likely to see a resumption of its attacks on oil infrastructure across the Middle East.
The governor of Indiana calling for an investigation.
Hey, Philip,
into
what's
the power
going on,
company
man?
with thousands of
I was talking
residents
about
and
you
businesses
earlier.
in Gary
Good to
without
see you, my
power
friend.
For nearly 2 weeks following severe storms. ABC's Alex Perez says crews are still trying to clear debris.
Getting all of this debris
We
cleaned.
talked about our lunch date and how we ran into Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith earlier. She still hasn't tweeted about it. I'm about ready to put that tweet out there and tag her in it. Man, thunder and lightning here is crazy.
trial of Lindsay Clancy nearing an end with closing arguments set to begin this week. The mother is charged with killing her 3 children, with defense attorneys claiming Clancy suffered from postpartum psychosis. You're listening to ABC News.
Man, I love this place. I've been surfing here since I was a kid. Now, seeing my grandson out on the water, it means everything to me. Watching him and taking in the blue waves, the sea breeze, the blurry horizon.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay is proven to slow GA progression and could help preserve your vision for longer, so you may keep seeing the world around you. Izervay, or avastin-capted pegol, is an eye injection. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may cause blood in the white of the eye, blurred vision, or a temporary increase in eye pressure. Do not drive or use machinery until vision has recovered after an eye injection or exam. Ask your retina specialist how you can slow your GA with Izervay. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com.
Local news on 103.9 WYAB, brought to you by AARP of Mississippi, making a difference in communities throughout the state. AARP.org. More clouds, more rain, both are possible, and that could provide some substantial relief here in central Mississippi, with a high today expected in the mid-90s and a 40% chance for showers and afternoon thunderstorms. And you can expect just about the same for tomorrow, and substantial rain chances for the rest of the week, with highs no longer stretching up to near or above 100. For today, it's 96 and a 40% rain chance this afternoon. For tonight, 75 for the low and a 30% chance for rain. Afternoon storms possible again Tuesday with a high at 94. You've got news on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis. While the chances for rain have gone up, the gas prices in Mississippi have come down, only slightly though. While the national average dropped about 5 cents over the weekend to $4.05 per gallon, according to Gas Buddy, what you're paying actually went down only about a penny, with the state average now at $3.63. Pearl is the place where you can find the cheapest in the metro, $3.33 at one station there. Why a man called 911 on himself in Hattiesburg Sunday morning? Well, whatever the reason, he is under arrest. 34-year-old James Matthew Barnes told police when they got to Hardy Street about 6:15 a.m. that he was the person who called 911 and was the person who fired shots at a car. It was unclear if anybody was hurt in that. He was charged with aggravated assault and shooting into a vehicle. In Byram, 47-year-old Ferry Michelle Heron Hawley is under arrest after a squabble that got violent Friday night. Police there say she popped off shots at a car in which the intended victim was riding and apparently was successful at hitting that person with a bullet. Heron Hawley is being charged with aggravated assault and shooting into a vehicle. More news in 1 hour on 103.9 WYAB. I'm Chris Davis.
So when are you going to check that thing off your to-do list?
Right, that. I don't know. How about next week?
How about now?
Or I could do it later, right?
No more putting it off. Do it now so you don't forget. You want this and have for a while.
Oh, you're right. I want this.
You deserve this. And it can help you in the long run. There. I just logged on to homescc.edu. We're getting you registered right now.
Wait. Hold up. I thought you had to show up on site to register at Homes.
You can do either one. You know that career you talk about all the time? The life you dream about? It starts today. How does that famous quote go?
Don't. Please don't.
The secret to getting ahead is
getting started.
Register at a campus near you Monday through Thursday, 8:30 to 3:30, or right now at homescc.edu. And remember, your tuition could be free with a 20 on your ACT.
Holmes Community College.
No place like Homes.
Your roof is constantly exposed to the elements, battling dirt, algae, and stains. But with Watkins Construction and Roofing Roof Wash Service, you can keep it looking like new. A proprietary rooficide treatment is EPA approved, safe, and guaranteed to prevent algae from coming back for at least 2 years. No harsh chemicals, no damage, no black streaks. Just a clean, beautiful roof that lasts. Call Watkins Construction and Roofing at 601-966.
This is just insane.
Or visit nomoreroofstains.com today.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are the individual views and opinions of the people expressing them and are not.
And welcome back to hour number 2 of the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB, where we are streaming on Rumble, where we are streaming on X, where we are streaming on YouTube, and heck, it's Monday, why not? We're even streaming on Facebook, and of course, the mothership that is WYAB.com. So if you can't pick up the 50,000 watt blowtorch of a signal that is 103.9 WYAB, like, share, and subscribe to our channels. Help us build the station, grow the channels. Tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a Democrat. Yep, and follow me on X because I'm posting all the stories that I use during the hour on my X account. And that way you can trust what I'm saying, but you can verify what I'm saying. Number, if you want to be part of the show, is 601-879-0002. Text line is open at 601-879-5060. And it doesn't matter whether you call in, text in, or even hop in the chat and say, yo, yo, yo. The mission here at the Andrew Gosser Show is standard. We are here to equip the saints. Who are the saints? Y'all are the saints. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and blessed are your ears, for they hear. And ladies and gentlemen, during the break, Brother Rick just sent in this article, and it's from the Post Millennial, but I'm just going to read it right here. Mother slits throats of her 3 children, told their father to say goodbye to your kids, cops say. What is going on with women in I would say women in the West, women in America, but women in the world? It's beyond me. It is absolutely beyond me. We're seeing thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of women standing up for this Lindsay chick who went ahead and killed her 3 kids and then made it sound like, oh, it's just postpartum. And if you're a man and you try to talk about this, you get in trouble. You've never had a baby. You don't know what it feels like. But we have the WNBA where you can pretend to be a woman and play basketball as long as you don't offend other people. It's really ridiculous. When one of the top women's web pages and sources of information that I know is Jezebel.com, you know you got a situation here. But this woman goes off for 3 minutes. And I'm just going to let you listen to some of this because I felt it was really poignant and succinct. And since I am a man, an absolutely 0% woman, I'll let this woman speak for me.
If you would like to unfollow me because I think a child murderer deserves to go to prison because she murdered her children, go ahead, leave. Because fundamentally, we are never going to get along if we can't even agree that killing a child is wrong.
There's no excuse for killing a child. None. I don't care if you got postpartum or not. And the fact that now we have copycat murderers running around here talking about how they're going to do the same thing, how you've got women, mothers on TikTok holding their kids out in front of potties and talking about things, throwing ice into tubs, and then thinking that's somehow going to express their rage. Remember how funny we thought it was when these women would get together back in the early 2014s, 2015, 2016, and have screaming sessions where they just all get in a room and scream, and we thought it was hilarious? No, that was the mass formation psychosis kicking in. But let's listen to what this lady has to say because it's good.
Apparently, we need a freaking reminder that women are perfectly capable of hurting and killing their own children. So why don't we go ahead and count them? Number 1, we have Melissa Campos Sanchez, Miami, August 2026. Police say that she poured hot candle wax onto her 3-year-old and 6-year-old daughters. She then lit clothes on fire in the kitchen and danced around until the 6-year-old had to try to put the fire out.
And she's actually showing the video in this. And I didn't even hear about that. Is society so depraved that we can't correct ourselves? Are we just shooting the alligators so close to the boat? The alligators are not close to the boat anymore. They're inside the boat and they're trying to eat you. And yet we're making excuses for this woman.
Number 2, Kaylee Earhart, North Dakota, August 2026. 3 young children were stabbed. Her 3-year-old and 5-month-old died, and her 1-year-old survived. And she told their father that say goodbye to your kids before she did it.
What makes a woman do that? What makes a father do that? What make a man do that? A 1-year-old? A 5-month-old? That had to be like a 18 or 19-month-old because you couldn't have 2 kids like that back that close together.
Number 3, Haley Dempsey, Florida, May 2026. She killed her own mother, then she killed her 4-year-old daughter and her 4-month-old daughter. She then allegedly tried to shoot her 2-year-old, missed, and then killed herself. Number 4, Marlene Vidal, Texas, May 2026.
You get the point here? We are beyond the point of women's suffrage, ladies and gentlemen. We are beyond the point our young daughters, our young girls are being subjected to this through their iPhones and iPads. We talked about that last week too. I'll tell you what, offline, I've never gotten so many angry complaints from grown, well, I almost cussed, from grown weird parents talking about how they need their iPhones and they need their iPads to keep their child entertained while they get the shopping done or while they go do something. It makes me wonder how we ever did how our parents ever got anything done in the 60s and 70s. Could you imagine the parents waking up one day, it's August 24th, 25th, whatever day it is today. It's the 24th. It's August 24th, 1972, and they wake up the next day, it's August 25th, 2026. And they're having to deal with these kids. When are we going to say that enough is enough? Some days I come into work and I'm like, man, there's good stuff to talk about. And other days I'm just sitting here looking at it going, my goodness, this is just a hot mess. Hang on for the best. This video, which chronicles all the craziness of this woman, still has another 2 minutes to go. And I do want to get through it.
6. Her 5-year-old son and 6-year-old daughters were killed with sharp force injuries, and their bodies were found inside a burning car. Number 5, Sarah Myers and Amy Stedman, New York, June 2026. A mother and a grandmother are accused of murdering 4 children, 13, 11, and 10-year-old twins. Drugs were used and one child was stabbed, and investigators say that the planning appeared aimed at keeping those children away from their father. Number 6, Mackenzie Critton, Wisconsin, July 2026, charged with smothering her 7-month-old baby to death. That is 6 cases in 2026. And it's only freaking August. And while all of that is happening, women are sitting on the internet holding their babies and crying into the camera saying, same, Lindsay. Oh my goodness, same. And that
they are. I have Tic Tac on my phone. I rarely ever open it because you open that thing and it's like trained. It's trained to sit there and keep you sucked in. But you can watch video after video. Some of them are only 15, 20 seconds long. Some of them are 2 minutes long. Next thing you know, 15 minutes gone. Next thing you know, an hour's gone. And you're like, where the heck did the 4 o'clock hour go? And you're sucked into watching this garbage. It's human nature.
That's where I snapped. And apparently saying that maybe we shouldn't be identifying with that while we're holding our own babies is controversial now. I have more numbers for you. Federal child maltreatment fatalities in 2024.
And this is where it gets really interesting for me, ladies and gentlemen, because here are the numbers and the statistics, the receipts, if you will. Who is better for the child? Is it the mother or the father? If you're in a parked car, you may want to make sure you got your seatbelt on. You may want to strap in, get down. If you're the old Glenn Beck type, get the duct tape and wrap it around your head because this is going to be shocking to you all.
Mothers acting alone, 31.8%. Fathers acting alone, 13.7%. Non-fatal abuse and neglect, mothers alone, 37%. Fathers, 25%. Newborns killed within the first day of life, almost always the mother. Or should we talk about the over 1 million abortions every single year?
It just goes to show you that women are more dangerous to kids than the fathers and the men. It's not sexist anymore. It's not even racist. It's just we've gotten so out of whack where the government has decided to be the father and the mother can go do what she wants to do because she's got the iPad kid. Mm.
So spare me this little fairy tale that y'all have come up with in La La Land over here that somehow women are incapable of being danger to children. We are more of a danger to our children than their fathers are in most cases. But
Yep.
women will search the entire freaking zip code for somebody to blame other than say, yeah, she did it. And that is why this whole same Lindsay trend thing has me genuinely concerned. And if me saying all of this makes you uncomfortable, well, you can stay uncomfortable because I am done prioritizing grown women's feelings over dead and abused children.
And it doesn't matter what color the child is, what ethnicity the child is, what religion the child is. When we start making excuses for bad behavior in our society, we're cooked. And I there are so many doomers out there, and I always sit here and try to be on the bright side of things, but sometimes it's just gray. It's dark out there. Like it's dark outside of WYAB studios right now. It's dark out there, man. Some of these women and what they're subjecting their kids to, training their daughters to do just devious things at a young age. And I'm not, and people are like, oh, that's just a certain sector of society. No, it's all society. You know, you can sit there and blame poverty and blame the inner city and the urban community, the culture, if you will. The culture is all everybody. The color has nothing to do with this. Religion has nothing to do with this. Financial status has nothing to do with this. This is just straight up spirit of Jezebel type demonic crap that's infiltrated it. And quite frankly, men, it's our fault because we didn't decide to be the man in the room. We just decided to let it go. It's easier that way, which is what the government wants. Just give us control of the kids. We'll educate them. You know, there are kids out there now who complain if they don't have 2 iPads because one iPad can't keep them stimulated enough. I've watched it. It's sickening to me. People ask me, "Andy, where'd the pastors go? Where'd the church go?" I don't know. But there's still some good people out there. When we get back, we're gonna hear from one of them. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYB. We'll be right back. I hear you, Dogfish. I'll get to the Iran stuff here, I guess. And we are back here at the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB, moving and grooving. And Brother Dogfish asked the question, and I will attempt to answer it. How is Iran able to keep funding the media with the economic sanctions? The media is very pro-Iran. They hate Trump and America. Very sad. Well, this is the infestation of communism into the American society. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If we had the media of today during World War II, we'd be speaking German and Japanese. But no one wants to call out the local media, or let alone the national media. Look at how they're burying this poor man who got killed by this illegal alien in Terry on I-20. People aren't. There's just no room. You know what it is, Brother Dogfish? There's just everybody is maxed out. We are emotionally tapped. It's like we're through, and unless it affects us immediately within the next 30 seconds, we're gonna try to push it off and stiff arm it to the max extent possible. I mean, that's why I'm so grateful for people like Kingfish out there, Jackson Jambalaya, Dark Horse Press, Russell Latino in Magnolia Tribune. I'll even say Mississippi Free Press and Mississippi Today. I don't agree with 99% of what they print, but at least they're local. Imagine if we had someone in the Benoit, Mississippi Register who could actually FOIA the financial records for that village for the last 6 months. You would be shocked. You can't get it, though. One, because they don't keep good records over there in Benoit, Mississippi, and number two is because if you try to FOIA it, it's gonna cost you an arm and a leg. Well, that keeps down aggressive FOIAers. Well, in this case, I think Benoit, Mississippi needs it. And it's an example of where how can we expect to control the media, not control the media, but expect the media to do an honest reporting job in Iran when we can't even get an honest reporting job in Mississippi, That's what I'm getting at, Dogfish. When you've got these moms and dads of sailors and Marines on the Abraham Lincoln strike group auditioning to become the main characters of the story instead of the ship and the sailors and Marines who are the main characters. You're right. It is very sad. There's a lot of us who are vets out there who are looking at this and just like beside ourselves. We're absolutely beside ourselves. I look at some of these young women who are in uniform, who obviously have had their uniform tailored in a way that's not conducive to military activity. Women just acting basically like strippers in a pair of BDUs. It's ridiculous to me. And men do it too. Believe it or not. There is bodybuilding competition in the military, people. when we were never really worried about that. There were guys who would like to be buff and work out and stuff, but it was always, were you in combat shape? Could you ruck the 5 miles if you had to ruck the 5 miles? 5 miles is short ruck, by the way. Could you go ahead and do the military things that the military was going to ask you to do? Were you going to be able to exert yourself? I'm sure that some of these guys have muscles on top of muscles that I didn't even know could exist. But and they could sit there and they might be able to bench 1,000,000 pounds, but they couldn't sit there and ruck 5 miles. Again, our attention spans are completely been changed and disorientated, which is why I support Pete Hegseth, Secretary of War, and Interim Secretary of the Navy, Hung Kao. I mean, there should just be a one-time amnesty. This is just my opinion. If I was 5-star general for a day, I give everybody 24 hours to clean up their social media accounts. And those who didn't, you just be asked to leave. Or better yet, just take it away. People don't realize this, but when you go into the United States military, you don't fall under the U.S. Constitution anymore. That's secondary. You are now under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. And there are all sorts of articles that they can nail you on. I know. I used to hear the speeches all the time. And it wasn't coming from the officers. It was always from the senior enlisted who are always sitting there patrolling the E4, E5 mafia. If you know, you know. What red tape? What red tape? Things that you just had to get done, get done. But yeah, Dogfish, to get back to your point, the media is very, very, very communist. And it's not just with its reporting of Iran, it's with the reporting of the economy, it's the reporting of our national monuments getting vandalized. It's about the reporting of this crazy woman who killed her 3 kids and how they're finding sympathy for her, or the treatment of Carmelo Anthony or Nolan Wells. It's not that they're reporting the news, it's just how angry can they make you? What words can they say to get you fired up enough to get mad enough to call in or to do something silly so that they can report on that too? I don't trust the mainstream media farther than I can throw them. I will use them for sources of news when I disagree with them or I agree with them, because that's all we've got. But that's why I like talking to this Mississippi Cup guy. He called into the radio the other day and talked about driving out to Benoit, Mississippi. You know, he drove to the Carmelo Anthony trial in Texas and was there. If you follow his X account, Sippy Cup 2, and it's short for Mississippi. I mean, that guy is a brave soldier, man. Army infantry, disabled vet, going out and doing the work. In fact, I'll have to give him a call after this. Those types of journalists aren't out there. The Russ Latinos, the Kingfishes. I mean, it's just trying to get good news anymore doesn't help that we have the internet and everybody loves X, including myself. But I can see how X is even having its algorithm linked up to what I like to see. You know, it's not necessarily news that I want to see, but I like to see. I'm trying to think here. Other good local reporters. How could I forget our man Frank Corder from Magnolia Tribune? That guy's good. Jeremy Pitari is pretty good too. And again, you've got to find the news that not just makes you feel good. And I agree with ABC News, but the ones that when they report saying, you know, the budget is being blown through the roof under President Trump. I mean, we got to talk about it. We're busting $40 trillion. Yep. And the Iranian, and you think the inflation in America is bad. You should go see what it is in Iran right now. Dogfish is saying 1.4 million Iran rial to $1 US. How they're even eating over there is beyond me. It just goes to show you that they have links to the Chinese, communist Chinese in Russia, still funneling them money. They're being propped up. And the U.S. is just continuing to smash them every way to Sunday. And we can, and we will. It's absolutely insane to me how we can't sit here and see this as people and not demand more action. Let's see what happens here. Well, go ahead, sir. Are you there?
How are you, my brother?
I'm hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit.
What is this strange substance falling from the sky out here? What is this?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what, it is dark. It is like almost nighttime, man.
I know. Well, it's actually raining, so I was beginning to think we had some strange occurrence because we haven't had rain in some time, but that's okay. That's good. Yeah, you're talking about inflation. I was listening to a guy yesterday, and it was curious that Russia has a vast amount of mineral resources, gold, all types of precious metals, but nobody wants a ruble.
Nope.
Nobody wants it because it's not worth the paper it's printed on. China has a massive amount of mineral resources and all types of natural resources, but nobody can trust the Chinese government, so nobody wants them in. So this attempt at this new currency, and I'm trying to remember the name of it, maybe you can help me.
I know what you're talking about, but I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember the name of it, my friend.
Yeah, because they want to, absolutely, because the United States, with all of its debt, people still around the world want that dollar.
Yep. They want that oil-backed dollar.
That's right, because it's so interesting, but a lot of it is kind of like, trust in the mafia or the drug cartel, or do you want to trust, the crooked politician in the United States? Well, I'll take the crooked politician.
Yeah, Brother Richard, it's like you keep the devil you know versus the devil you don't know.
That's right. That's right.
And for me,
anyway,
this is where I'm at, and I'd like to know what you think about this. I'm just tired of the devil I know. And I realize that we might have to go to a really dark place before we get to a lighter place, but I want to clean up the Straits of Hormuz and the Straits of Bab el-Mandeb and the Straits of Gibraltar and the other two straits that 90% of all shipping around the world goes through, between those 5 straits. I don't want to be held to the terroristic threats of Iran and the Houthis and militant Islam. I don't want to sit there and have the country of Great Britain skim $1 or $2 of oil off of every barrel that flows through the Straits of Hormuz. I want to clean it up. And if that means cleaning up ourselves too, well then, hey, we've got to get clean.
Well, you and I have had this conversation before, and it's going to take some hard truths, and there's going to have to be some people wake up dead for this thing to start turning around, for people to say, well, we're going to file charges and we're going to bring them before the Justice Department. So, and then what happens? You get a couple of news cycles, and then you never know what happened.
Exactly, dude.
I mean, back in the day, as the Sopranos, you say you had to go take care of business.
I think that with TikTok and Instagram and social media, our attention spans are about 30 seconds long. And I'll give you the last word, my friend.
Oh, no doubt about it. And trying to make excuses for these women killing their children. Are you kidding me? What in the world? But brother, I enjoyed listening to you. I haven't been able to call a lot lately. God bless you and have a good day.
You have a good day too, Brother Richard. I appreciate the phone call. And Brother Richard's right. It comes down to a lack of accountability. It doesn't matter whether it's politics, religion, sport, whatever, economics, education. There's no accountability. There's always somebody else to blame. Russia is sneaking in and selling off their outdated military equipment via the Caspian Sea to Iran. Yeah, and we're using a bunch of outdated stuff too. I just wonder how many more like how the F-14 was a fourth generation, the F-22 is a fifth generation, the B-21 is a sixth generation, and now you're talking about the F-47 being a sixth generation. There's only so many more generations before you have to have a new energy source, and I genuinely believe that's where this all falls down, because once oil isn't the main driver of the economy, then everything changes, and it's coming. It is coming, ladies and gentlemen. You're looking at just how everything is evolving so quickly. You look at our computer chips. I sit there and I've got this buddy of mine, smart dude, PhD scientist, and he goes, "Andy, why is CERN shut down till 2030? It just got rehabbed a little while ago." I don't know, why is CERN shut down to 2030? You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show on 103.9 WYAB. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Andrew Gosser Show right here on 103.9 WYAB, where we can control what we can control. This last topic of the show, we're going to save Darth Vader for when Brother Rick comes on, because Brother Rick will have a lot to say about Darth Vader. But how many of you in this audience, and I am going to call out some of my liberal listeners, Brother John, Reggie Thomas, others in the community who are fighting the good fight. How many people out there are willing to soldier up and go do what needs to be done? You know, I hear it all the time. Oh, I could have gone and been an Army soldier. I could have gone and been a sailor or a Marine. I could have gone to Buds. I could have gone to selection. Yeah, why didn't you? Well, you know, and yeah. And everybody's got an excuse under the sun. Oh, I had a thumbnail last week. Hangnail. They're sitting there holding their head going, my liver, my liver. There are so many people who spit a good game, but really when it comes down to it, they can't hold the water that they're talking about. Now, you all think I'm talking about soldiers and sailors and people trying to steal valor, and I am. But I'm even more concerned about our pastors out there who are completely silent. You're silent at the pulpit. You can't call out a spade a spade. You can't talk anything that might go against what your congregation is saying because, you might make them mad and the collection plate go down. The tithe on the decrease. I listen to a lot of pastors out there. And I've listened to this pastor before, and I should listen to him more often than I do. But if you had the problems that Dearborn, Michigan is having, would you have the testicular fortitude to go up and say this?
Pastor Lorenzo Sewell, I have the honor and the privilege of being the senior pastor of 180 Church, where President Donald Trump came for his birthday weekend. It was there that I had an opportunity to pray over the president. And it was at that moment that he told me I would pray at the inauguration and I would be able to preach at the rededication. The reason why I'm here today, because Dearborn, in all of your prosperity and everything that you've done, the spirit of Hubbard is still in this city. The spirit of racism still dwells in this city. This is a city that has prospered with your mosque and your call to prayer, but yet it's on the back of my people. It's on the back of Black people that we have funded everything you do. You look down on us. Your police enact injustice on us. And when Jake Lane talked about Jesus, he was assaulted because you are not up under American law. You are up under Sharia law. That is the reason why you have made no arrest. You laugh. You are 3 generations of racism in this very city. You know it. You have seen what has happened in this city. And it is my people that have funded you. It's my people that made sure that you have what you had. And you spit on us, you degrade us, but you're only 1% of this nation. We are not a nation of Muslims. We are a nation of Christians. We are one nation under God, indivisible, the God of the Bible, the God of the Lord Jesus Christ. That's the God in whom we serve. I want you to prove to me we're not up under Sharia law. Will you denounce, Councilman O'Reilly, will you denounce Sharia law? Will you denounce Sharia law? Will you I know you won't. Will you denounce Sharia law? Abraham, you went to Hillsdale. Will you renounce Sharia law? Will you renounce Sharia law? America, we have lost this city. This is a city that is no longer up under American laws. We are up under Sharia law, and we will not have it anymore. Enough is enough.
Do you have that kind of bravery? I know a lot of people who sit there and go out on the corner and street preach. I can honestly say I know, and I hate to, I can't even put myself in this, but I know two people, Coleman Boyd and Gabrielle Olivier, who would sit there and do that. When I play stuff like this, you should see the cringe I get from elected officials. Andy, you're just probing something that you just need to let it go. No, I don't. We need more of that. And I would take a little bit of issue with Pastor Lorenzo, because it's not just the backs of Black Americans, it's all Americans. Is why Dearborn's getting what it's getting. It's getting the slush fund money, the Medicare, Medicaid money. I'd love to see ICE go in there and do an investigation and see how much fraud is happening in Dearborn, Michigan. And the sad thing is it's about to happen right here in Mississippi, and we're all asleep at the switch. It can't happen in Jackson, Mississippi. It can't happen in Benoit, Mississippi, or Bolivar County, Mississippi. See, I even said Bolivar County right. Takes me a little bit of time, Miss Marie, but I get there. I'm grateful and thankful to everybody who reaches out and gives me that. I'm going to go ahead and repost that on X. You can listen to Pastor Lorenzo. But I'm asking all of you the question right now as we go to the last commercial break of the hour. Do you have the integrity to go up in front of city council, in front of the lion, in front of the enemy, and preach like that? And if you do, why aren't you doing it yet? And if you can't, why can't you? Perhaps you are consuming what you consume and not being able to consume the right stuff. You're eating sugar and fatty stuff, and you're not eating the word. Get back to it. You are listening to the Andrew Gosser Show. We're going to take our last commercial break of the hour. We'll be right back.
Matt's Connection. I've been selling real estate now for well over 30 years, and I typically use Chadwick Home Inspectors. And Chad has done many, many home inspections for me.
They are pretty much from roof to foundation. Most people are surprised at just how thorough these home inspections can be. Been working with Rita almost a decade now. Very rarely does she let a deal fall apart. She can usually find a way to negotiate where both parties are satisfied.
RitaJensen.net. Grill lovers already know about Grills of Mississippi, and so should you. Grills of Mississippi carries premium Weber grills, Yoder smokers, and outdoor kitchen accessories to take your backyard cooking to the next level. Whether you're a weekend griller or a serious pitmaster, Grills of Mississippi has the brands, the knowledge, and the service to help you do it right. Turn your backyard into the ultimate gathering spot. Visit grillsofms.com today. Grills of Mississippi, where great cooking starts.
Are you thinking about your next vehicle purchase? Hi.
Thanks to everybody who tuned in today, man. It was really good. I was wondering how the show was going to go today with the things that I had, but it turned out really good. Oh, yeah. The time goes by just so quick here at 103.9 WYAB, Andrew Gosser Show. It was great to hear from Brother Richard again. Chat was good. I'm greatly appreciative to everybody who checked in. Unknown texter said, preach. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to get it in the right direction. Trying to get it to where people, just everyday people, take a responsibility for their own actions and for their own neighborhoods. Take responsibility for what's happening, because we're not. We are a generation of people who want to find somebody else to blame. And once we find that who's to blame, we're going to go find ourselves a really good attorney and sue the hell out of them. I don't subscribe to that, but that's just the truth of the matter. You know, economy's doing good. Who's to blame? Economy's doing bad. Who's to blame? Someone's appointing a new judge. Who's to blame? And then what happens is we find out something bad's going on, and we'll find out the one thing that's not quite right with that whole situation. We'll find out the one piece of information, and we'll lock in and we'll freeze that information. Well, they said it was Richland when it was really Benoit. So that whole story must be hot garbage. And those who sit in the cloak-filled rooms full of cigar smoke, laughing about the peons below, out there struggling, and the wolf is at the door. And there are people who say that I'm a little bit too dark, that I'm not seeing the good side of stuff that's going on. And I do want to see the good side of stuff that's going on. I really do. But I'm not going to be so naive, so ignorant, so willfully bliss as to not realize what's happening. I've got a 17-year-old daughter out there. I've got a 21-year-old son out there. I've got two older sons, 28 and 30. Actually, Austin's going to be 29 here in a couple days. Yeah, holy smokes. Hey, really quick, I know my friend Eric, who I grew up with, his birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, brother. Didn't get a chance to talk to you on the phone yesterday, but I was thinking about you. Tomorrow's my sister's birthday. 2 days after that, it's my son's birthday. A couple days after that, it's going to have another birthday. Rebel Ray, I'm going to have a great day. I'm not going to say the HT, but Oxford's going to be all right. I'm in a program now. I'm in recovery. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to get through this with my daughter going to that place. I'm not knocking it. I'm very proud of my daughter. I mean, not everybody can get accepted into that school. I'm being serious for a minute here. You know, when your kid gets accepted to school, but even that does college mean the same thing anymore? If you were going to college in 1990, that would seem to be like a big deal. Going to the University of, I was trying to go to the University of Illinois, but it doesn't mean the same thing anymore. Do the degrees mean the same thing anymore? You know, there was a university out there that was getting a degree in online influencer, a 4-year degree. How are you going to go pay $130,000 for a 4-year degree in influencing when you got a 12-year-old who's playing Roblox, who's got 1.2 million subscribers, getting hundreds of thousands of views daily? And then you look at what's happening in the Arabian Gulf and around the world, right here in Jackson, Mississippi. Dark times, ladies and gentlemen, dark times. Lindsey Beckham's coming up next. We'll see you all again here tomorrow. Until then, take care, everybody. Be blessed. Yes and amen. Amen, ladies and gentlemen.